What's up YouTube, it's K.D.M Sports back again with some more sporting news and content. A big announcement was made with some huge fights, particularly this one I'll be talking about in this video. Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira is scheduled to fight Arman Tsarukyan at UFC 300 in a title eliminator at lightweight. Both are coming off wins against top contender Beneil Dariush. Charles finished Beneil in the first round of their fight. Arman also finished Beneil in the first round of their fight as well, but in a more devastating and quicker fashion. What makes this matchup intriguing is that this is another matchup which we just don't know whether Charles will win. It seems like in every Charles fight there's always uncertainty, and then he proves us all wrong, which is why we appreciate and love Charles Oliveira. Charles puts it all on the line each and every time, a do-or-die type of fighter. A big part of Charles's appeal is that he is a flawed fighter. Charles is by no means invincible or a perfect fighter. He's very hittable. Same with Arman Tsarukyan. They can be hurt, and we've seen that displayed in their fights against opponents. Neither are known for being great in the striking defense aspect. Generally, Charles is susceptible to straight strikes and counter strikes. Tsarukyan is a shorter and overall smaller fighter, standing at 5 feet 7 inches tall with a 72-inch reach. Charles Oliveira stands at 5 feet 10 inches tall with a 74-inch reach advantage. Charles Oliveira throws everything straight with tight technique, especially that left hook. That straight right and 1-2 like we've seen in many of Charles' recent fights has been very effective and has hurt guys like Gaethje and Dariush. Charles has serious power. Arman is very explosive and a very good athlete, and one of the few guys at lightweight that can compete with Charles in the grappling. But style-wise, there's things Charles does that could present problems for Arman if he's not aware. Arman likes to squat and feint, which would make him vulnerable to Charles's teeps. Arman in the grappling primarily uses single leg and double leg takedowns. Charles Oliveira also has a counter to this, which would be his extremely dangerous guillotine. In MMA, styles makes fights, which is why Arman matched up extremely well and was competitive against Islam Makhachev. A powerful, good wrestling athlete will have success against Islam. Wrestling primarily focuses on control, positioning, and takedowns. Islam, while he is good at wrestling, Islam is an MMA fighter. He's good at all aspects. He's well-rounded. Islam comes from a Sambo background and has a great pedigree in that. Sambo, for people who don't know, is a hybrid martial arts system, basically MMA in gi, which explains why the transitioning for Sambo fighters to the UFC is quite simple. Islam is so well-rounded that when he fought Charles, he really didn't need to wrestle. He focused more on judo throws and trips to achieve dominance. Islam can implement wrestling, judo, and jiu-jitsu because of his Sambo background. The danger that Charles will have to face with Arman is the speed. Arman is very fast with his strikes, and he does mix things up with combinations. When it comes to striking or mixing in his wrestling, his scrambling ability is exceptional as well. Arman has never fought anyone with the submission ability of a Charles Oliveira before, so he won't know how he will approach a fight against Charles until fight night. As a good high-level wrestler, you do have the ability to dictate where the fight goes, which will be in Arman's favor. Charles' biggest chance to submit Arman would be to rock him bad and then take his back, similarly to what he did against Justin Gaethje. Charles doesn't have enough high-level wrestling to get Arman down. Charles is a submission master through and through. Arman's victory can come in a multitude of ways. He could KO, TKO, or decision his way to victory against Charles Oliveira. He could submit Charles if he drops him, but that's unlikely because in all of Arman's victories in the UFC against lower level competition, he has won all by decision or TKO. Both are so dangerous in the aspects of grappling that for the most part when styles that clash like this, it usually results in a stand-up fight. Arman is an amazing athlete blessed with speed and power. Charles has went through a plethora of elite strikers during his run at lightweight, including two of the greatest lightweights and hardest hitting lightweights of all time in Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje, and we know how smooth Dustin is with those hands. It's not likely Arman KOs Charles. Charles has also made minor adjustments in his defense. We saw that displayed in his last fight with Dariush. Arman's kicking game is where he really shines, but Charles has another counter to this. Charles comes from shootbox, a Muay Thai school. Charles' striking style puts an emphasis on Muay Thai, so I don't really see Charles having much of an issue defending himself against the kicking game of Arman Tsarukyan. Arman is going to need to gain Charles' respect in this fight, because if Charles does not respect you, he will march you down and throw long straight strikes with power behind them, looking to hurt you every step of the way. Even against the hardest punches in the division, guys like Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, and Justin Gaethje couldn't even finish Charles or get Charles to back up. The only real area I see Arman having success in this matchup against Charles is the clinch, when it comes to throwing or tripping. From an overall skill set standpoint, I really don't see Arman Tsarukyan being able to do much against Charles. Charles' skills have a counter to almost anything Arman can produce, or has shown so far in his octagon career. My pick to win this fight would be Charles Oliveira. Arman Tsarukyan for sure is a future champion, but I don't think it's his time just yet. Maybe I'll be wrong on this early pick, but all we know for now is that this fight won't disappoint. Thank you guys for listening to me talk about another big upcoming fight, and make sure to subscribe, like, share, and if you've got any opinions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below.